Hello, everyone, and good evening to you. Let's take a quick look at the XAGUSD from a technical standpoint, and let's see if there is any trading opportunity that we could take advantage of in the new week. Well, looking at the current structure we have here on the 4 hours time frame, we can see that during the course of last week trading session, we saw bullish traction right above the $18 level throughout the course of last week trading session. So we can see despite this impulsive move to the downside, as soon as price got into this $18 level, we see bullish traction from this area. We saw resistance from the buyers that kept on pushing price to the upside. So all attempts by the sellers to push price right below this key level, this level around this area, has been very abortive as we saw bullish potential from that area. So are we going to be buying the XAGUSD for this week? Well, let's scale up to the higher time frame and let's see what is really happening from an holistic perspective. So when we scale up to the daily time frame, what is the first thing we observe here? So let me zoom in so that we can see what I saw. So right here on the daily time frame, I had two structures I was able to identify here. And the first one is the bearish trend line after connecting the series of lower highs. As you can see, after connecting the series of lower highs here, though we had a break above of the structure in the month of March, but price break right back down into the bearish trend line. And since then, price has been trading right below that bearish trend line. So that was the first structure I was able to identify here. And the second structure I was able to identify here was this descending channel. As you can see, after connecting the series of lower highs and lower lows here, though we had breakouts of structure, but price came back right within this channel, and we saw the lower low, the lower high, lower low, and lower high. So I had the descending channel also figured out on the daily time frame. So going into the new week right now, so we have two structures that I want to be using as my yardstick. But when we zoom into what has been happening in the last one, four, three, four, last 4 months now, there is another significant structure around the $21 level, which has been a very strong determinant of price action whenever price comes within that area. So we can see here in the month of May how this level has been as buying niche. Though we had a breakout in the month of June, and since the month of June, price has been trading right below the $21 level. So what this simply tells us is that the XAGUSD has been on a bearish momentum. However, when we zoom further in to see what has been happening since the later part of the month of July, we saw that every attempt by the sellers to push price right below the $18 level, despite the fact that we had a bearish momentum, anytime price comes within the $18 level, we saw buying pressure from that area that kept on pushing price to the upside. And this is exactly what happened during the course of last week trading session. As we saw, as soon as price got into the $18 level around this area, we started seeing buying traction from that area. So comparing the current structure we have here with what has been happening from that area, we can see that that level has a memory for buying power. And looking at what happened during the later part of last week trading session, we saw this engulfing candle that took price right out of that structure, leading further into the breakout of the resistant level of that descending channel to give us a bullish signal. So with a bullish signal that we have here, are we going to see a situation where price will continue to the upside from this level, where a retest to structure will give us further confirmation to add more position to a buy position here? With a take profit target somewhere around the $21 level. And the reason why that is simply because we want to be patient enough to see how price action is going to relate to the structure, which also shares the confluence with that bearish trend line I was able to show you earlier. So if we are going to be having a situation that probably will result into a reversal pattern here, then we could be thinking of selling the XAGUSD. However, if a breakout of that structure happens, retest to structure could be confirming a trend continuation to the upside. So that is the first scenario I want to be looking at. Then the second scenario I want to be looking at on the XAGUSD is the possibility that the breakout of this resistant level of this descending channel could actually turn out to be a false breakout. And so, if it turns out to be a false breakout, what we want to be seeing is price coming right back into the structure, probably do a retest of that structure, then breaking down that demand zone, giving us an engulfing or a significant breakdown of that demand zone, where we see how the buying position of this area being taken out from the sellers. And if that's really happened, one thing I'll be advising here is that we want to remain patient to see further confirmation, which will likely come in the form of a retest of the structure. It could be the retest of that demand zone, or probably come back into the resistant level of that descending channel to incite a further trend continuation to the downside. So these are the two scenarios I want to be looking at as we head into the new week. Well, before I close this video, let's really look at what really happened here during the close to the end of the last week trading session, and let's see what really went on here if the structure will be supporting a bullish momentum. So now going down to the 4 hours time frame, well, the first thing I was able to identify here on the 4 hours time frame is simply the fact that price has been trading right below that demand zone we identified on the daily time frame. Remember, we identified the demand zone here, and throughout the course of last week trading session, we saw price trading right above that level, giving us a clue that this might turn out to be a reversal pattern. And whenever we have a reversal pattern like this, the first thing we want to be doing is to identify a neckline that will be serving as our yardstick for any trading opportunity. So what I'll be doing here is to bring out my line chart so that we can have a specific point of connection. And what we have here is somewhere around the $18 level. Let me see, is around the $19, somewhere around here, as will be likely be serving as our neckline. So I would like to give this a purple color. Let me first of all label this area as the $18 MAC, which is more or less a very strong psychological level. So let's label this area for the sake of clarity. So we have the $18 level here. Let me place it at the right hand side of my screen for the sake of clarity, and let me give this a purple color as well. So we have something like that. So we have let's go back to our candle chart. So we have something like this. We can see during the course of last week we saw selling pressure from this area, but during the later part of last week we saw the final breakout of that structure. So we have a neckline at the $18 level. So from a technical standpoint, whenever we sight a breakout of a neckline like this, we expect the price is likely going to come back and do a retest of that $18 level, which is going to be the neckline of that reversal pattern. Then we scale down to the lower time frame, looking out for patterns that will be supporting a trend continuation to the upside. And if you look at this key level at the neckline here at the $18 mark, we can see it also shares a confluence with that resistant level of the descending channel that was broken on Friday. So with the breakout of both of the structure, this is more or less a bullish signal, the confirmation of a strong reversal pattern. So let's see if we are going to be having a retest of the structure, after which we look out for patterns on lower time frame to join the trend continuation to the upside. So at this point, I'll be pausing this video and let's see how participants in this market is going to be relating to this current structure during the early hours of the week. And be rest assured that I will be jumping in the comment section to give you an update on how I intend to trade the XAG USD. If this video has been of immense help in making your individual decision on this pair, kindly support this project by clicking the like button. You would also want to follow me on my TradingView platform at Dark Sherry so that you don't miss out on the regular updates I normally dish out in the comment section of every video. Thank you for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you on Monday. Bye bye.